like to let you know how much it meant. Time goes by and I don't understand. All I wanna do is hold your hand. Think of you and then I think again. Hope you'll always choose to be my friend. But here I go down my familiar path, and I alone will stand to face the wrath. Like to thank you for the time we spent. Like to let you know how much it meant. Like to thank you for that time back then. Hope you'll always choose to be my friend. 'Cause that alone defines just who we are. There's no distance that can grow too far. Like to tell you just this one last time. Word goodbye is just too hard to rhyme. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Intermission. I hope that you enjoyed your time sitting alongside me and hearing these songs presented in a unique manner. And I now return us to our regularly scheduled programming. I hope you're enjoying these segments. You know, some people provide feedback and commentary, and it's been humbling, you know, to know that there are people like me out there who like to create music and talk about things that are a little bit more beneath the surface level. And in other words, we're taking things at greater than face value, which means that when we see one another, we're not just judging each other by the cover of our book, so to speak. And that helps to break down the barriers of communication, and it helps us to do more than agreeing to disagree. So thanks again for continuing this journey with me. I hope that you've enjoyed these presentations, and I'm looking forward to evolving with you and learning with you. So my main segment, my main focus is wildlife. And that, of course, lends itself to being compassionate about nature, which, if you think about wildlife and nature and conservation in any way that's meaningful, a lot of times we come to the conclusions that a lot of the practices that we've been practicing might be excessive. Take for an example this place that I'm sitting right now to give you this set of presentations. Now, a lot of the wealth and fortune and opportunity that I have came from being born in the very place that I was born into and making a series of choices that allowed me to come to this point in time. So there are many of us who have not been as fortunate, and there are many more who have been more fortunate. And when it comes down to it, it's hard to share the things that we have if we value them more than we value one another. So I hope that you enjoy me sharing this content with you. It's the best I can do to share what I've got with you, especially during these time frames while we're probably still isolating at home. Last year around this time, I was recording segments for this particular year. I have some time capsules that'll air during this YouTube segment that are from the past. And a lot of what I said in the past was applicable to the future. And I know that as time goes by and viewership switches itself around, I know people will see things that I presented in the past, lessons that I've learned in the past. And in that same manner, I hope to learn lessons with my peers who have learned things in advance and paved the way to make things easier for me as well. I'd love for everyone to have the opportunity to be able to sit still and think on their thoughts for long enough to remember a new poem, learn a new instrument, read a book, things that expand our mind. I have this weird feeling that we will not choose to expand our mind until we value our mind as something that's something that can be exercised as well. Exercised. What an interesting term. So, in a couple of segments, I've talked about religion, politics, and exercising demons even. And one day in the not too distant future, I think I'm going to bring you a story from personal experience that applies to some of the commentary that I made early in the 30 days of health and wellness, which was also 30 days of wellness and wealth, health and wealth. I called it all kinds of things, just like I'm doing today. During that series, I did touch on several instances that there were nefarious, conspiracies. People were conspiring against me. These aren't just perceptions, they were actually happening. And so as I bring these thoughts to you and these stories, don't be afraid. I'm not trying to call anyone out. These are experiences that we can all learn from. As I look at this screen, I can see what's basically in your periphery. I see the poster on the wall in the other room. I see the guitar that's next to it. The poster is basically the most ironic part about this. Some of the things that I've been doing are just learning to play music, and part of that was because I love music, and some of the music that I was really able to align to is the guitar work, the instrumentals of Metallica. And I got banned from their fan club for presenting a song, so I decided to just take it all into my own channel and kind of rein it in there. I comment occasionally on other people's pages about the things that I feel are relevant. However, it's become alarmingly frequent where if I voice these opinions that seem as innocuous as they are, and I receive an energy that's almost hostile in return, it's become increasingly frequent. So with that in mind, I've also avoided communication in private as much as possible on, I guess what you would call the messenger service. Let's keep these conversations in public. We're trying to learn together. There's no need to edit our prior comments if what we're saying is true. There's no need to delete our posts if what we're saying is said with relevance and truth. And I find that oftentimes when people post things that aren't true, they cannot leave the comment alone. It has to be edited in a way that's almost trying to supersede another comment. But I'm here to work with you. not against you. There's nothing that I want you to not have. Just as much as I've had the opportunity to enjoy things, I would wish that and then some on my fellow human beings and also on nature. So that brings me back to wildlife and nature. I've got to say that the next segment that occurs after this intermission will absolutely be about wellness and health. And that inevitably leads to wealth. But wellness and health is wealth, by the way. Wellness and health are things that resonate at a certain vibrational level that allow us the opportunity to earn more. What we are served with and what we are stewards of is what we can multiply in ways that are beneficial to one another, as long as we're responsible and take responsible actions in those things that we are stewards of. So have a great day. Thanks again for listening. Peace and music and love to you. And please provide some kind of feedback if you have any commentary, concerns, questions, or directions in which you would like to see the new segment go. I'm not sure where I'm going to be airing that segment from. I can say that I have a great belief that I will not be in my home state when I'm recording this next segment. And I can also say that wherever I'm going to be at, I'm going to probably immerse myself quite a bit in nature. And I will take in the beautiful energy of nature and try to resonate that back. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that want to kill what is beautiful. And we have been harvesting at an alarming rate those things that are possibly not able to be harvested at that same rate ever again. So I hope that we're paying attention to the basic feelings that we have. These feelings are not one-dimensional. They're shared. We probably dream about these things if we really key in on it. And a lot of these topics, such as dreaming and sharing and compassion and music and love, might seem daunting to some people, almost like you're reaching down into a gorge trying to pull something to safety, as if you were the steward of whatever you were trying to pull to safety. And at the same time, without your flock, you can't be a shepherd. Without your following, you haven't left anything really behind of relevance. You know, we can sell out all we want and exchange currency and never really exchange a real conversation. And that's become more and more evident, like I say, throughout time, in how meaningful our conversations will become. So if it's just a meme that we're communicating in, and if it's just a couple of conversations that we ever touch base with one another, perhaps we're driving each other into or out of our own circles. And, there does need to be a little bit of diversity in order to really nourish the entire group with something of relevance. Without diversity, we have a lot of inbreeding of ideas, and those inbred ideas oftentimes take the form of something that's just not sustainable. So here's to sustainability, here's to resonating with one another, and my musical challenge is, if any of you have a song in response to anything that I've showcased as a song, I would love to keep this going. You know, let's pass the torch, so to speak, and see what song evolves or was inspired from this song or any song, from any band for that matter. Everyone is putting their music out there. It's a part of their heart, unless it wasn't written by them themselves. And those parts of their heart are as transparent as it gets. Love is patient and kind, and no matter how gruff someone's voice is or how rough that person came across because of their upbringing, the heart shines through, I think. So I hope that you're seeing my heart. I hope to see your hearts in the form of likes and subscribes and maybe monetary contributions for the things that you've seen me do in the past that you appreciate and enjoy. I don't want to sound like a nonstop fundraiser where I'm trying to raise money, but I also have expenses, and I've done my best to whittle down what I'm adding to those expenses, and I'm doing it in a way where I put all of my resources to use to try and bring a smile to someone else's being, someone else's existence. So if you have an abundance, in my particular case, what I'm trying to do is help not just myself, but also others by either cleaning up the areas that we all perceive at the same time, or by sharing insight that allows people the tools to clean up their own areas as well. And I know this all sounds kind of general, and you know, you're either understanding what I'm doing or you're not, but also you're either helping me or you're not. And if I'm helping you, the law of attraction says that you must want to help me in return. So with that in mind, I'm not trying to push you in a direction that you don't want to go. I'm trying to nudge you in a direction that will help you to succeed as well. My blessings are your blessings are my blessings. We're here as stewards of one another, helping those blessings to be appreciated by one another. So I hope that as you take time to review these videos, you find that I'm leaving you in a as good as or better condition than you were prior to watching these videos. And if I'm not doing my job. So if I'm not, please let me know how I'm not providing you with these services. If I am, like I say, it's up to you to take the next following steps to help us to springboard what it is we're trying to build in this reality that we all participate in, or that we allow to just evolve into whatever it grows into in its wild state. And I can tell you this one thing, not everyone is very comfortable living in a wild state for very long. Me, I seem to enjoy it, although I do enjoy the comforts just as much as anyone else. And so that's why I try to nurture the spaces I'm in, and also the life that's in these spaces. That's plants, animals, residents, etc. And I also try to bring life to those things that are around me by making sure that they continue to remain in use and not go to disuse. So sharing is caring. Once again, I hope that you share your beautiful day with one another if you can. There are a lot of other things that we've been sharing in the past that aren't as beneficial. We know what they are. A lot of them are click-to-pay, sponsored advertisements, and a lot of what I'm saying might just be heard as rhetoric, when in fact it isn't. But for many of us who are starting to focus on health being wealth and food being mood, we can hear these things, we can hear the change, and that's it. Have a great day. Peace.